We're going to start our first animation and we're going to keep it simple. Here, when you start a new scene, we're going to call just call this line art. And then we're just going to keep everything the same. If you want to save it instead of a documents folder, if you want to save it to your desktop so you know where it is, you browse for your folder. You just hit desktop. And that's where it'll save. Everything else we're going to leave the same right now. And then we hit create scene. And we'll get to this workspace that you guys have just grown accustomed to. So the first thing that I want you to get in the habit of doing is you're going to add a color card, because even though this looks gray, when you go to export your animations, the default screen when you export is always going to be black. So if you did your whole animation in black and it exports with a black screen, you're not going to see anything. So what we do is get in the habit of doing this. You're going to add a plus on the timeline and go to color card. And it automatically just makes a color card layer. We're going to take our drawing layer and we're going to drag it up. And now we have a white background. All right, now you can make that different colors. We're just going to stay with white right now and just keep it simple. All right, so what we're going to do is down in our timeline, these are our frames. And remember that you can zoom in with 1 and 2 on your keyboard. So I'm going to stick to frame 1 right now. I'm going to start actually on frame 2 because we always want to start out our animation with a blank screen. Then I'm going to go to the pencil tool and I'm going to pick a line width that is a little bit thicker. Maybe a little bit thinner than that. Try it out. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So what I'm going to do on this second frame is I'm just very simply going to draw a small line coming onto the screen. Okay. Then I'm going to go to the second or the third frame, the next frame over. Now, I don't see my last drawing. So in order to see your last drawing, you're going to click on this very bottom tool. Looks like a bob for a fishing reel. And that is my onion skin, and it's showing me my very last drawing. So if I go here, it appears black. If I go to the next frame, it appears red, and that means that I could take that drawing and kind of use it for a guide to do my next drawing. Then I'm going to go to the next frame, and I'm going to draw a line here. And I'm going to draw all of these with the pencil tool and just draw it by hand, so it's a little bit more natural looking. And just figure out where you want to go. Now remember, when frames are close together, it's going to start out looking slow. If you want to speed up your animation, start spacing out your drawings a little bit. See what happens when you start spacing them out. What if I want to make a little semicircle here? I could start twisting it. Now it's showing me the last 2 moves of my animation. So if you only want to see the very last drawing you did, see up here where it has a plus and a minus? Just take the -1 and it'll just show you your very last drawing. All right, and then remember I could speed it up by separating the drawings, making them further apart. And then maybe I want to slow it down a little bit. And basically what we're doing is just doodling, guys. So we're going to keep it nice and simple. You can make your lines longer or shorter, closer together. You can even start, I can even start splitting them so I can have my animation go in two separate directions now. And maybe I have lines going like this, lines going like this, and I can add some, and this is going to look like a little explosion. And then I can continue with this, just this one longer line. And I just want you to keep drawing these lines and figuring these things out. Try and do slowing up your animation, speeding up your animation. And if you want to see what you've done, you can take this scrub bar here and scrub back. And if I turn my onion skin off, I'm going to turn that off by just clicking it. Oops, didn't click it enough. There we go. So now this is what my animation looks like. All right, and that's what it looks like backwards. And I'm just scrubbing through. If you want to play it, you hit the play button here. Now it's going really, really fast. We're not going to worry about the speed right now. We can always slow it up, and I'll show you how to do that when we actually have something done. But I would like you to do, you know, at least 60 frames. We're just doing it really, really simple and keeping it nice and simple and short just to figure out what it is that you're doing. All right?